Welcome into the den for episode 13 in my brush review series where I'm burning the midnight oil. It's late, but I wanted to get in this video so I can have it up for you guys on Saturday. I'm trying to go through as many brushes that I have in my collection between now and the end of the year so that come 2025, I'm caught up. So here we are in July, episode 13. What we're basically looking at is the S16 from Lansky. Lansky is a brush manufacturer out of China. They make a lot of our favorite knots. What we're going to be looking at is the XTC, available at Hendrix Classics & Co. I have two of those knots manufactured by Lansky. You might know it as the S16 if you've seen it out there. This knot, the popular opinion is that it's either very similar or exactly the same as the EVO knot. Depending on where you read, people will claim that it's the same knot that Omega has in its EVO 2 handles. Back when I did my EVO 2 brush review, I believe it was like episode 8, I was wrong when I mentioned how long I'd had this brush. I was thinking I'd had it for several years. I've only had it for a couple of years. I went back and I was finally able to find when and where I had purchased it. It is indeed the EVO 2, and I purchased it just a couple of years ago. I've never owned the EVO 1. Now, I do believe that the fibers that are in this are either exactly the same, meaning they came from the exact same place, or they're a copy of or a clone of. And we see that happen a whole lot in synthetic knots, that a company will come out with a knot and then the competitors try to copy it. A great example of that is Simpson's Trafalgar. Almost 5 years ago, Simpson came out with the Sovereign fibers in the Trafalgar. It didn't take Omega, 3 months, 6 months, and they came out with the fibers that are found in the Lupa and the Romo, or Roma rather. And so there's so many examples of it that we can look all over the place, even going back years ago with what we now call the Plisson type. It has just happened time and time after again, right? That's how markets work. So what I want to talk about though is talk about how you can get this knot in the matrix handle from Hendrix Classics, and then how you can buy the knot separate and put it in a handle. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to look at. So in the matrix handle, we have a 26 millimeter with a 55 millimeter loft. The EVO is a 28 millimeter with a 55 millimeter loft. When it comes to soft tips and face feel, it's exactly the same as what I gave the EVO 2, and that is a 7 for soft tips and 6 face feel. As we come down, I'm going to go through this quickly because I want to get to this one. So we're talking about this one here, the Matrix, $49.99 at Hendrix Classics. 26 millimeter with the 55 millimeter loft. Okay, so same loft, just a 2 millimeter smaller diameter. The backbone, I'm giving it a 6 as well as the EVO 2. For ease display, it's the same. And then flow through and retention, I'm giving it the same score that I gave the EVO 2, and that's a 7 on flow and a 6 on retention. Now for value, it's $49.99, and I absolutely believe that you are getting the exact same fibers. I really do. That whether or not they are made in the same place, I don't know. If it's a copy, a clone, they did an amazing job of replicating it. So I believe it's the EVO 2. Okay, I'm going to give the Matrix at Hendrix Classics & Co. a value of 7 for $49.99. You get these beautiful, he calls them, it's like a honeycomb, but they also call them as a Matrix. I got one years ago from West Coast Shaving. They had some of them. I have a badger knot in that one. He also has, this is a different knot that's in it that I'll eventually review too. There's the white one, and then I really want this bad lighting. It's dark outside, so I don't have any natural light up on the screen, right? And there's also the blue one. I really want to get the blue one. They look really cool. My understanding is that the honeycomb is actually made with aluminum, so this aluminum is inlaid into the handle, and it's just a really attractive handle. Don't get me wrong, I love this gray stone, is what it's called, from the on the Omega 2 of mine. I do. I like it. It's not nearly as attractive, right? But a value of 7. Now, something I want to show you guys real quick too. So I got a bunch of knots right over here. I'll try to remember to take a photo of it. Here, let's do this. Bear with me. Drop one. So, handful of knots, right? I got a few more too. The one I want to show you though, for new wet shavers and people who may not know. So you can buy from Hendrix Classics. Pete is actually adding even more handles to his website. So for those who don't know, when it comes to backbone, right, and ease of splay, it can be greatly altered by the amount of loft that you allow the knot to have. And so here's an example of a knot, and I have these rings right here, and I've just been playing with this with different loft. And so if I bring it all the way down, it'd be about a 55 millimeter, and I have rolled it up to the point where I've been playing with it at about a 53 millimeter. I've since rolled it up a little bit more, but the higher up I bring this ring, right, these rubber rings, the more it constricts the fibers together up high, creating more backbone so that it's harder to splay, right? And if I roll it down, it then allows it to balloon open more. And if I roll it up, it compresses it more, right? So new wet shavers, hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. These are the exact same knot, okay? I put this knot in this handle. You can buy the 26 millimeter for $23.99, or you can get the 24 millimeter for $20.50 from Hendrix Classics. And remember too, if you sign up for the points program, I need to talk about this more often. If you sign up for the points program at Hendrix Classics, you basically get 10% off every $100 that you spend. You spend $100, you get a $10 credit. I believe that's how it works. If I'm wrong, I'll put it right up there. And then you can get a whole bunch of different handles ranging from like $15 to $30. This one right here, you can end up getting it for $40. There's another little beautiful handle that you can get it for $35. So exact same knot, literally the exact same knot. This is the S16 from Lansky, known as the XTC at Hendrix Classics, and this is exactly the same thing, okay? This is at a 55 millimeter loft. So from the top of the ferrule right here, where it comes out of the handle to the very tip, is 55 millimeter loft. This one, I've intentionally constricted it more to give it more backbone, okay? And so this one is 53 millimeters, all right? So now if I review this one, is the exact same knot, but what we do is we still have the same soft tips of 7 and face feel of 6, right? So we haven't changed that at all. Come down to backbone and ease of splay. We've increased the backbone. I'm now giving it a 7 opposed to a 6. Ease of splay, it's harder to splay. So I'm now giving it a 3 opposed to a 4. And then flow through and retention, I've gone back and forth debating on whether or not I'm really noticing any of a difference. If there's a difference, it's only by like half a point. So I had given the EVO and this S16 a flow through of 7. This is either still a 7 or like a 6.5. I don't notice, there's not really enough for me to notice anything. If I had to say there was a difference, it's minuscule. And that would be the same thing with the retention. Because we're compressing it together more, it might have the opportunity to hold on. I haven't noticed it, so I'd given this guy a 6 on retention, give it a 6.5 tops. I still believe it's about a 6. Now, because of the lower price point, right? And also with Pete, you know, if you don't want to set the handle, or if you buy the knot and the handle separately, Pete will either put them in there for you or he'll mail them to you and you can do it. If you have Pete do it, let him know what you want the loft to be and he will happily make the loft for you. And if you have any questions for Pete, great way to get a hold of him is Messenger through Facebook, and also DMs through Instagram, and he has his email as well that you can find on the website. I'll try to remember to put that in the description. So this guy here, 53 millimeter, and you could give it even more backbone by putting it down to 50. I have this sitting on 2 nickels. So I took literally 2 5-cent pieces, 2 nickels, American currency, right? Little Thomas Jefferson nickels. And I put them down in there, siliconed it, put the knot on top. If I hadn't done that, it would have been sitting down at right about 50 millimeters, giving it even more backbone, which was more backbone than I wanted. I freaking love this at 53 millimeters. This is a little too easy to display and not nearly enough backbone. Same with this. Like, I still love it, right? But I wish that it had a little bit more backbone. I absolutely love these fibers. I absolutely love that brush. This, though, is perfect. This is like more of a Goldilocks brush for me with the 53 millimeters. We're at 10 minutes, much longer than what I wanted to go. So with the value, though, when we start taking this same knot down to a $35 to a $40 option, and this handle is way more attractive in person than it looks on Pete's website. Hopefully it has some photos that I'm going to try and just really excel at capturing this, because it's so hard to get good photos of a lot of razors and different things, right? If you've taken any photos, which I imagine everyone watching this probably has, shave gear can be really hard to capture. And when I got this in the mail, I was shocked at how much better it looked in person. And I was actually talking with Pete about it earlier today in preparation for this video. And he said that, he tried and tried and tried. And I believed him, because when I did my eBay, man, I would struggle to get things to show up the way that they looked. And if you look at my comments, the positive feedback on my eBay channel, or my eBay store, whatever you want to call it, a reoccurring theme that you'll see from people is that they constantly were saying, it looks even better in person. It looks even better in person. That's because they're just so hard to capture. This is a kick-ass handle. It looks 10 times better in person than it does on that. And this is the Golden Boy. 8.5 to a 9. If you get that $35 handle, this is I love this knot. I really do. I mean, you can almost just, this is a Frank's G8 right here. Just take and go like that. You really want to save some money. That'd be a 10 right there. No handles. You don't need a stinking handle. You just rinse off your hands, man. Come on. Handles are for sissies. Take care, guys. This is the little big things. Don't be a sissy. Toss the handle. Just use the knot. See you guys next time. Take care. Oh, by the way, I didn't pay for that. I had this for months. Talked about it in a previous video. Should have set it up front. Take care, guys.